Conan, all right?
I mean, he's running like a 14-year-old.
I made it very clear that I have a very specific aesthetic, and it is only Conan, okay? All right?
Conan and Batman.
At my gym, there is a poster of the famous poster of Arnold Schwarzenegger, good old Schwartzy, doing a competition where he has his like arms out and his back is to the crowd and stuff, and all it says across the front of it is "Conquer." And I just look at that poster every day, and I think one day I will be to the magnitude that Arnold Schwarzenegger is if I just inject as much steroids into my body as humanly possible. I'll get there.
Yep.
I will get there because that man is just structurally.
You'll even start talking like him when you do that because you're gonna have like a half stroke.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. Totally fine with it. My wife would have stogies. You know, like I don't know if you ever seen the man at 60-something years old took a drop kick to the back. It was just like apologize to the other person. It's like I understand.
Right?
I understand why it happened.
I remember that. That was
it was super weird. I don't blame him though.
So as you guys can hear, we're talking about Conan the Destroyer.
The Destroyer.
From 1984.
He's still a barbarian, but he's also a destroyer now.
Yes. I'm your host. I'm your host, Joe.
You're your host, Ron, huh?
I'm host Ron. That's co-host Joe. With us today is
Campbell's mortal enemy, and don't you forget it.
I just now read your name.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't put your name as something today, Ron.
Well, you know, I was going to, but I didn't want to put in there not okay with child hypersexuality. So
yeah, do you want to talk about that now, or you want to wait?
Listen, it was a different time. It's 1200 BC. Okay, she was
like, hey, look, I was born when this movie came out.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, really, okay. I wrote down boob count. Right, I was expecting tits.
Because there were some in the first one.
Yeah, there were lots in the first one. Well, I don't have the count on me, but it's in my book.
Yeah.
But other than Ursula with like the see-through top,
yeah,
which I was excited. I thought we were gonna get to see Ursula's tits. I've been wanting to see those since Superman 2. No such luck.
I mean, you almost
you can get on the internet and see them. They're definitely there. I saw them there, but that's not what we're talking about here.
It's not the same if you have to like go hunt it out. Like there is an absolute charm and like nostalgia. That's the word I'm looking for. And nostalgia. Yeah. Like as a kid of being like, oh, there's the boobies. You know what I mean? Like boom in front of like you had to go rent the movie and not let your parents see it. You know what I mean?
See, my dad actually rented it for me. He's like, hey, let's watch this movie. And I'm like, yeah.
That's okay. You had a cool dad. Whatever. Mine was never around. So I had to hide it. You know what I mean?
That's fair. My mom bought me Road Trip for my like 13th birthday. She didn't know what it was. She's like, I saw, it's supposed to be a cool movie or whatever. We started watching it together, right? It gets that scene where they're in like the fucking shower, the locker room. And all the girls are running around naked, you know? Mm-hmm. And because she wasn't there for the first part where like, the girl gets naked. And she freaks the fuck out. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm watching this with my kids. What's going on? Why would they? And I'm like, you don't have to watch this with us if you don't want to. I mean, you bought it for me.
My mom, when I was in second grade, took me to Starship Troopers.
Oh God.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I was obsessed with Roughneck Starship Troopers, the children's cartoon show based off the same universe.
I remember that show.
Yep. And I was like, oh, it's like the cartoon, Mom, take me. And she took me, and it was nothing like the cartoon. I'm not complaining because I was opened my eyes to a lot of things. Mainly people being melted alive was what actually stuck with me the most. Out of all the things that was in that movie with the full frontal nudity and the badass bug action scenes and stuff, it was people being melted alive that was burned into my brain for many years.
I mean, that's fair. I can still picture fully when the dudes get melted by the Ark in Indiana Jones. So
yeah, same. Good times. So either this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life, or it is the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever seen, and I haven't actually figured that out yet.
So okay, I watched this movie going into it thinking like, okay, when you're playing a tabletop RPG
Yes.
And you've got like your solid like group that's there, and then you have like a couple seats that change out back and forth, you know?
Mhm.
That's what this movie was, right?
Yeah.
So like the first movie, you know, you had Valeria, right? Who was, you know, a player at the table, whatever. But you know, she leaves. You get it replaced by a little kid that actually doesn't know what she's doing or how to play. So she plays. You get a badass warrior chick, which I would also like to talk about Zola's whole like beaver shot there when she's fighting against Wilt Chamberlain.
Which, jump into that scene real quick. She actually bit him.
Hot.
Because she.
I mean, if you got a chance to bite
blood
Wilt Chamberlain, you got to go for it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he picked her up to do it, so I mean, I feel like he earned, he deserved
allegedly, both Grace Jones and Wilt Chamberlain did their own stunts in this movie, and Grace Jones had never done stunts before, so she didn't know exactly what she was doing, which is why she bit Wilt Chamberlain. Like she didn't know. She's like, I think I go in and I think I do this. Like, right? No, okay, too late.
love that.
Also, when I first saw her, I thought her tail wasn't attached to her belt, if you know what I mean.
Fair.
Funny enough, I just, and I haven't actually seen it, but she was in A View to a Kill, so I just knew her as a Bond girl because she was in a Bond movie. It comes out later.
She was in more than that.
No, I know, but I don't know. Like,
see,
everything she's been
I
in.
know that I've seen this movie as a child. I don't remember it. Like the only thing I remembered from it were the characters.
So that's
specifically Zula and Ursula. Well, what's her name in this one? Queen
Tormund or Tormus.
Yeah, I don't know. I just called her Ursula in my notes because that's how I think of her. But
actually, supposed to be Ursa, not Ursula. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Look, do I look like a DC fan?
The biggest drunkest bear. Ursa Major. Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's what we're talking about. R.I.P.
Can we talk about? Okay, let's go back to the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
The scene where the guys are riding in on the horses, right? Was that not? Did they not look like the most uncomfortable people riding horses you have ever seen?
They clearly had no horse rider training, and they were just told, "Hey, this is what you're going to do. Figure it out."
They were getting their asses pounded by a saddle, and they didn't know if they liked it or not, but they were in for the ride.
Also, the whatever suits they were, like armor they were wearing, clearly was not designed to be worn on the horse.
Oh, 100%.
No. And these guys are supposed to be the elite guards, allegedly. And Conan just destroyed them.
Well, that's because they weren't trying to kill Conan; they were trying to capture him, which is why they were hitting him with sticks instead of actually,
they were
using
trying
weapons.
to capture him. And what they didn't realize was Conan doesn't give a fuck about your horse, and will stab it and punch it and beat the ever-loving shit out of it.
Right when he fucking uppercutted that horse, I'm like, "Yep, there it is."
Okay, so this is I mentioned to you guys in the chat when I started watching it on Friday. I said, I legitimately can't figure out if this movie is trying to take itself seriously or not. Because if it is trying to take itself seriously, this is the weird, like, it reminded me watching it of Evil Dead. Like, that's what it felt like. Like, we have the first one, right?
Yeah.
That takes itself very seriously, and there isn't any camp to it. But when we look back at it, it's like, okay, it's really cheesy and kind of like goofy looking and stuff like that. But we understand that like the budget was low and it was kind of small, and like they only had to do so much. And like the acting is like more serious. You know what I mean? Like Schwarzenegger in the first one doesn't really do all that much acting. He's just kind of like a beef dude.
That's as much acting as he always does.
Hold on. Whoa.
I only said that for Chuck.
Wow.
It's like telling Joey that, Batman's not a superhero because he doesn't have powers.
We just reviewed Batman and Robin like a few weeks ago where he acted his fucking ass off.
He's amazing. No, there are several roles where he is absolutely amazing.
Have you never seen Kindergarten Cop?
Thank you.
Like, have you never seen Twins? How fucking
it's not a tumor.
How dare you?
I love it. Love it.
Have you never seen Junior? I will fight you.
I've
Okay, in
actually
the
never
parking
seen
lot.
Junior. I've
No,
never seen
Junior's great.
How have you never seen Junior?
I watched a lot of movies in the 90s. My parents
Oh
didn't.
my god,
let me.
it's so good. It's so good. Jingle All the Way.
I've seen.
That's like Academy Award winning. How dare you?
Well-
Sinbad ruined it for everybody. Anyway,
Oh my God.
so we have the first one, right? And it's like it takes itself very seriously. And then they make the second one, right? They make Evil Dead 2, Dead Before Dawn. And the budget was bigger so they could do more things. And they've always said, up until recently, where I'm hearing other things now, where it was like, no, we meant for this to be a serious movie. We just kind of went too far with it, right? And now they're kind of coming out and go, well, no, we knew what we were doing. We were trying to be campy and trying something new and different.
It's because they're
That's
old and they
what-
forgot.
But that second movie was literally just the first movie. Just redone.
Yeah. Except for now we have a
Add stuff
chainsaw
to
in
it.
his hand.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, and then so this is what I'm starting to wonder. Crawl. Is Crawl actually just Army of Darkness, where they were just like, all right, let's just make a comedy. Let's just
Okay,
make an action
so-
comedy and pretend like it's not an action comedy.
Considering that Crawl was supposed to be Conan the Conqueror, like
Right.
it was originally set out to be that way, but Arnold was like, no. He actually for this script, he had gone to the producer, director, and he was trying to get them to change up the script to be a little more serious. That scene when he is drunk acting, like that was terrible. That was bad.
Well, he acts more. Like he was actually acting more. And it was just like, we don't need Conan to act. What we need is Conan to beat the shit out of a camel. Clearly. That's the best part of these movies.
Hey,
But
and they do get a reunion like shortly after the movie starts. Hey, doesn't that
they
camel
do.
look familiar?
I-
Oh, sorry about last time.
Okay, that
But-
fucking guy. Who was that? Who was
Malik?
that guy?
It was his new friend, I guess.
Annoying. He was
He was-
annoying. He
well, that-
ruined the
it's-
fucking entire movie.
He was
Well,
supposed to be
don't worry
comedic
about it.
relief,
No,
but
don't worry about it. He leaves here. He leaves the service of the Queen, goes to Gotham City, becomes the Joker's right hand man, and gets shot by him. So,
Good. Good. I wish they would have shot him in real life
Oh,
because
ow,
he was
ow,
so fucking
Damn.
obnoxious in this movie. Like
he was, but like Ron said, he's supposed to be the comic relief. And they
bad comic relief.
well, that's because they
You're
already had
right.
Arnold as the comic relief, so they didn't need him.
They had camels as the comic relief. We didn't need this like
Which-
dude who's not saying anything funny. Like he's not other than he has a weird. What was with the 80s? And if you had like a slightly weird accent, you were just coined as like the funny guy. Because that's what he had. He had just like a dumb, stupid accent.
everything was always like he was inflecting everything, like asking questions and not actually making statements.
It was like,
At
yeah, like he was like trying to be like he thought he was sophisticated or something.
something. I don't know.
He's like, oh, and I'm smarter than this big beef man. It's like, shut up. You should be glad you're not a camel right now because you get punched in your stupid fucking face.
Which I didn't know this until looking through IMDb. And,
He really did kill those camels.
he
no,
really
and
did. You better have put
um,
it on the kill count.
It's on. No. I put it on the animal knockout count.
No, he killed him. Listen, I don't care if you think they just like.
Oh no,
erased the
I wasn't talking
movie.
about it in the movie. I was talking about it in real life. That wasn't actually the same camel. He had killed that first camel when he punched it. They just didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So they brought him back in the second movie so he could knock him out again.
That's
But
the-
everybody knows that
the
Arnold
first
actually
movie.
hates camels, and he killed that camel again.
Well, that's
Again.
the first movie. We don't count the first movie in the second movie. So, animal
Here's the
knockout.
thing, though. You do have to count the humps. It's not like Alderaan, okay? Each hump is its own individual kill.
Oh, bullshit.
It's opposite
No.
rule.
No.
It's the camel rule. It's different than the
Oh,
than the Alderaan rule, okay?
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I'm pretty certain.
What were we talking about?
I don't
I
know.
was gonna say.
As you can tell, much like the plot of this movie, I
Hold on.
lost it halfway through and forgot
That's
what
fair.
was happening.
I didn't know Andre the Giant had an uncredited role. He actually played he was the person in the Dagoth costume.
Of course he was.
But
Why
I
wouldn't
actually
he be?
think he was also the camel handler once Arnold popped him on the head, because you see him, it's a back shot, but the dude is super tall and that hair.
Andre the Giant didn't take back shots. Sorry, bud.
Andre didn't take many bumps. Okay, he had the only bumps he was taking was either of Coke or beer. Okay, like
Out
Andre,
of a fucking
if
barrel.
Andre's taking a bump for you, you better be the next fucking Hulk Hogan. All right, especially what was this 84?
Yeah,
And when does Princess Bride come out?
87.
yeah, I think
So
so.
he's already like in pain. Like this is like towards the end of his career.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he dies shortly.
I want to say it was like early 90s. 90s. No, maybe like
he
90s.
He dies before the movie comes out.
No, did he?
Before Princess Bride comes out.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
That was like the whole thing.
Hold on. Let's see. Andre the Giant died in.
I would want to see the pictures.
Right.
I want to see Andre the Death.
He died in 1993.
no way, really? Yeah. I thought it was way before that.
Yeah,
but that can't be right.
Died in 1983. Cause of
46. Yeah.
Cardiac. Wow, I thought he died in the 80s.
So did I.
That's crazy. Died in Paris, France.
Oh, hey, look at him.
His net worth is still $5 million. Good for him.
He deserves it.
He does deserve it. Treasure. Speaking of great action figures that we were talking about earlier, Super 7 makes Andre the Giant like Ultimates action figures, and they all are just stupid awesome.
Oh, very cool.
They come with like little beers like cans of beer that you can put in his hand. Oh, it's fucking awesome.
Wait, are they actually little compared to his hand though?
Yeah, they like barely like they're like little tiny itty bitty things that fit in his hand. It's awesome.
It's like buying those tiny little pop cans so your hand looks bigger.
Yeah. It was
yes
fun to see not Malik, Mako, his character.
Yeah.
What's his name?
That's a great question.
I have written down Akiro.
Oh, Akiro.
The wizard.
The wizard.
Yeah.
Aku. That's how I know him as Aku from Samurai Jack.
Was that really? That was him?
Yeah.
We talked about this in the last movie.
Yeah, because
that was a lot of concussions ago.
That's fair. He passed away before the new Samurai Jack series came out, which was really sad. I actually did like that one. Yeah, so that was. He's we're gonna see him again, I believe, in Bulletproof Monk whenever we get to that movie. Way back?
Why would we be covering Bulletproof Monk?
Comic movie.
Is it
Bulletproof
really?
Monk was a comic?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So,
but speaking of people that were in this movie, so the sword fight that Arnold has on the horseback, right, with the dudes that try to steal the dude's trying to steal the princess or whatever the fuck she is. Okay, that dude is also the dude that plays the cop in Mallrats, the mall cop, like the rent-a-cop dude.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't even recognize him.
Oh, dude, all I saw was his face, his eyes. I'm like, wait, I know that dude. So I had to look it up. Yep, sure enough.
I do think Mallrats is probably the least seen. Like, I think I've only seen that once. I remember not loving it, and I don't know why.
Mallrats still cracks me up, especially with the Superman Lois Lane thing.
He's not wrong on that one. Just
blow out her back like a shotgun if he ever blew it in there. You'd have to wear like a kryptonite condom or something.
I do it. Oh God, I love Kevin Smith. God bless him. My favorite ongoing joke ever is that people can keep calling him Kevin James. I think that's like my favorite running joke ever. Is that people will still send him like they think, when they do like raps and stuff, and they like have people send gifts to the directors, and like notoriously people keep calling him Kevin James instead of Kevin Smith.
That's so weird. They don't look anything alike.
I know. I don't know why, but it's really funny. It's like really funny.
Okay. Let's see
also, did anybody else notice that when the Queen first walks up there and starts talking to Conan after he, basically murders all of her help, he has a net stuck to the dagger that's on his belt.
Yes.
And then, like, as the camera pans around him, it just magically disappears.
Yeah, that was one of the goofs on IMDb. Saw there's a few actually. There was a couple of scenes where cast and crew, the crew and some like the equipment was seen. One in particular that I saw was them when they're leaving the ice palace thing and it's falling apart. there is a silhouette in one of the crystals up above and like the very top where you see a shadow like moving parts around for having stuff fall over. And I'm like, oh, that was dumb. That was bad.
Look, bad budget, couldn't refilm. They had already knocked over the set. Look, you can't refilm after you destroy a castle. It's just not how it works.
So what'd you guys think of? And I mean, Chuck saw it before Ron came in. The background here with the man ape guy thing attacking Conan.
Oh, the mirror monster?
Yeah, that was
okay.
That was something.
So okay, that reminded. This is where I go back to the D&D thing, the D&D party, because that reminded me of like the DM's like, all right, I gotta have a mini boss fight for him right here, but I didn't have anything prepared. So this is what happens. We have this guy, right? He comes out of the mirror, right? But he looks like a fucking angry gorilla dude, right? Starts beating the shit out of your players. And then the characters have to be like, oh, how do we beat him? And then one of them accidentally breaks one of the mirrors because the DM's like, oh, that's exactly how they're going to beat him. Yes, you broke the mirror. Look, he took damage. And then,
Is this gonna be in our game next week?
No.
Maybe.
Come on. I'm not a desperate DM most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
That's almost how I exclusively ran all of my games. I was like, all right, I got a start point and an end point, and I'm going to let them figure out what the middle is going to be. And most of the time, it worked about 40% of the time. Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
40% of the time, it worked 100% of the time.
Yep,
I'm the DM that also doesn't like. I'm never going to stop my player from having an hour-long conversation with the barkeep. I'll do it. I'll do it for the fucking bit. I don't care. You want to ask the barkeep every fucking question that you can think of and just drag this out more? Do it. I ain't scared. I don't got fucking anything else to do.
We've definitely drug
just
out
don't ask his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Ron is pretty good. He has names written down that he'll pull out from time to time.
We had a friend who had a giant book of baby names and would just flip it open and just randomly pick names when he needed them.
I have a list of names in my phone that I specifically get from license plates.
Oh,
they sound weird, so it works.
That's good. That's clever. I like that. Anyway, this fucking ape thing. What? Like, I don't understand what happened with the budget here.
I mean, it's practical, so that's good.
It looked dope, but then they were just like, let's make this really dope looking thing, but then not hire somebody who actually knows how to do stage combat to wear it. Because that's what it felt like.
That's because it was just like Batman's cowl in the first Batman movie with it couldn't move. So it was like, okay, look, this is the movement that you've got with this guy. Go with it.
But I'm supposed to believe Conan, destroyer of all wildlife, couldn't beat this thing in like one punch? All of a sudden just couldn't? I just watched this man murder 47 and a half horses.
But every time he tried to attack him, the sword went right through him. Although the man-ape
explain to me exactly how the sword goes through him, but he's able to grapple Conan like anything.
Magic.
Oh, so basically, you know how Kitty Pryde can like fall through things and
Do not bring Kitty Pryde into this. How dare you? God damn it. I fucking hate her.
You asked this question, he gave you an answer.
I regret everything, okay? I can't believe you made me spend $4 on this again.
Why? You could have watched Toxic Avenger. You chose.
I wanted to watch Toxic Avenger. I watched Toxic Avenger.
You will watch Toxic Avenger. That's over on Tubi, I think.
It was on Amazon for free for a long time too.
Yeah, I don't think it's on Amazon anymore though. I know for sure it's on Tubi.
I gotta go pay for it again. Damn you!
No, do you have Tubi?
No, who has Tubi?
It's free. Sign up for it.
What about not
likes
Tubi?
I watch it.
Actually, something I just recently looked
Beast
up
Wars is on there. I'm watching that right now.
Is on Tubi. What was it? Oh, I went down this like really weird rabbit hole. Do you guys know the old Highlander television show?
Yes, unfortunately.
I loved it. I
liked it as a kid.
Yeah, I loved it as a kid. It was on either before or after wrestling. I don't remember. But I just loved it. But that
was like one of those USA shows that was just
UPN,
like
UPN sounds right. Maybe USA.
No, it was USA.
It was USA.
It was USA. It was that La Femme Nikita, Silk
Stockings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was one more. Oh, Pacific Blue.
Oh, Pacific
was
Blue. My dad loved that show.
Yeah, that show.
And
was
I'm like, hey,
shit.
what better way to catch criminals than on a bicycle on a
Yeah,
beach?
good times.
Because bikes are definitely so much easier than anything else you could possibly.
They had to. They had the cash cow of Baywatch though. They're like, all right, hot people doing. Let's insert next thing that is like a public service. Bike police, got it.
I mean, it worked for tips,
Defusing
right?
bombs and stopping robberies by throwing their bikes at people. I think that's how that show went.
Yeah, that's actually accurate. 100%. The whole first season's plot.
Yep, just picking up bikes and throwing them at criminals. I love that idea.
So I've got a question. Only Jenna, the princess, niece, whatever, was allowed to touch the crystal, correct?
Correct.
Was she the only one that was allowed to touch the horn as well?
It never said that, no. It just said she was the only one allowed to touch the crystal.
Okay.
And then she had to stay a virgin because it was important that this child stayed a virgin through this whole trip.
This 14-year-old or 15-year-old. I think
she was 14 in the movie. I'm assuming she was probably like 13 or 14 when it was filmed because she would have been.
She was 14 when it was filmed. Because
if
it was filmed in 83, she would have been 14.
Yeah.
Was it also kind of where they're like, hey, she needs to stay a virgin. Listen. It was like they had to tell him, like, hey.
That's because they'd also seen the first movie and knew that Conan would try to woo her with books and then fuck her against her will.
That's true.
Not wrong.
That was the thing that we watched.
Yeah, yes, it was.
Yep. They don't call him Conan the Destroyer for nothing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I really hate that you said that because one of my notes was like virgin, not with the destroyer. And then that was when I was like, dude, I have to see how old this girl is before I actually say this because if she's so young, this is fucked up because she looks like a kid.
Because she is a kid.
He's destroying your
and then I'm like, oh, look, she is a kid.
Statutory laws.
And then they make her kiss him in the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
that funny.
They looked as uncomfortable doing it in the film as I felt uncomfortable watching it. So at least there's that, I guess.
Turned away.
Oh, you mean the entire plot to Freebird at the end of the movie where he was just like, yo, we can fuck one more time, but I gotta fucking go, right? I gotta go get my own time. I gotta get my own kingdom. I literally watched that. I was like, I was expecting Freebird to start playing. I was super confused. Halfway through this movie, I lost the plot and I was just like,
don't worry, so did they. And they never picked it up again.
I like how she's trying her hardest to let Conan know that like she wants him. I do love in the very beginning where she's like, what she basically slights Wilt Chamberlain's character, like, oh, so that's what a man looks like. Okay.
No, she said that's what a real man looks like, and then she's like, oh, no offense, booger bum.
The reason why Arnie didn't want to actually come on for 3 was because it was actually called Conan the Groomer. A lot of people didn't know that, but that's what they were aiming for, and they were just like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do. Let's just call it Crawl. Okay, let's change the name real quick.
She was trying so hard to get Conan. He basically turned it down. So instead,
he was in love with his wife still. Okay, he wanted to honor it.
They weren't married.
That's true. He was hoping that he'd get to bang her unalive corpse.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
But ultimately, like, she was like the jaded lover and just took all of his things.
Yeah.
Every single person that was with Conan, she's like, hey, I'm going to make you my guard, my head of the army, or whatever. I'm going to make you my court jester, and you're the best magician here. Come over to my side. Conan, you want to come now? You want to come over here? No?
I already came.
Speaking of coming, did anybody else got really uncomfortable when he was looking at his dead wife's corpse on fire and stuff? And he was just like, I was like, is he?
He's like,
is he finishing right now? What is that face? What is happening? Is this him acting? Is this?
I am sad.
It was weird. Like it wasn't. I don't think it was his acting. I think it was the weird angles that they decided to shoot when they were doing the close-ups on his face.
It's just kind of like right here in his face. And it's definitely like micro expressions of like eyebrow twitching of coming. I guess
you could tell that he was starting to get comfortable with acting, which was not great for him. Like
Well, this is what 2 years after the Barbarian, I believe. That was what
That sounds right.
Yeah, 82. Also, I saw in notes. Apparently, this came out before Terminator.
I was just looking up.
He
84 Terminator. So this must have come out right before it, October 26th.
He had to hold off. Like Cameron had already cast Conan or Arnie as the Terminator. He was supposed to be in that movie, but because of his obligations to this, Terminator had to get pushed back in production, which I guess was a good thing because Cameron was able to refine the script, make it a little bit better, which then got him Aliens and Terminator 2, and now we are stuck with 18 Avatar sequels. So, yeah.
No, he's just gonna make one more because he's got to do one for fire because he got the earth and he got water.
4 more, dude.
Oh, so see, he stole the name Avatar, so I figured he was just gonna steal their gimmick also.
I mean, apparently, yeah.
The first book, you know, I mean,
either way, you're gonna piss off a lot of people.
I don't know. I still haven't watched them, so
which Avatar?
I'm Joey. I don't watch good movies.
No, I'm talking about like Avatar, the cartoon, The Last Airbender, or Avatar, these stupid movies.
So I never actually saw all of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've seen
it's on Netflix. You don't have any excuse.
Yeah, I do. I have too much other shit to watch. But I never actually watched these new movies that Cameron's doing. I it's not that I refuse to watch them. Actually, I refuse to watch the latest one.
I watched the first one and it was okay. It wasn't like I don't know.
I rode the ride.
They fuck with the same thing that they tame their animals with, so that kind of worries me.
Well, they're.
Do you not? Is that not how you gain obedience? I'm confused. I will say
for legal obligations for legal reasons that's a joke right there.
yeah. Legally speaking, allegedly that's a joke. You have to say
anyway, so that's why the neighbor cats don't come around Chuck's house anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. I do have a possum though.
That's because it keeps playing dead.
100%.
God damn it. Okay.
Wait, this turned into an episode of Lady Showdown. I don't understand what just happened.
Hey, this is how we get followers, okay? We tell them you're going to be on. We throw in some, Elite 8 shtick.
Tell them I'm going to be on, and we talk about fucking possums. That's how we get the views, kids.
Hey, why do you think ponies watch 3 episodes?
Hundreds of downloads. This is going to be huge in India, okay? I promise. That's the trick.
But ultimately, I was asking about the horn because these keepers of the horn, like they show up as like that horn is ours, and they've been watching it. Like, why could they have just gone and gotten it to then resurrect their god?
Because originally, to open the mouth of that thing, you needed the gem.
Oh, sure. Except for the fact that there was a passageway in the back that they could have went through.
They're gentlemen. They didn't want to use the back door. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then Conan was like, "They're opening the door. They're opening the mouth." And it's like everybody was just like,
you know why they were opening a mouth is because the leader was actually a gem, also.
Anyway,
I like that joke. I'm gonna make everybody sit in it for a minute.
What? No.
Sit in the joke.
Oh, can we also talk about how Conan easily destroyed all these mirrors, which means that his party that was outside could have literally just broken through a mirror to help him, but instead they sat out and watched him get his ass kicked for
weaker on the glass side and not the back side. I don't know.
Shout out to Max's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you're right. Like that was one of those things where he breaks all of these mirrors and I guess knows where the other party is.
I mean, he should. He came in through that one if he was paying attention at all.
But that's the thing. Like
you have to remember, he's a destroyer. Right? He knew exactly what he was going to destroy. He knew exactly how to penetrate that thing to get it.
He only cares about one thing, and that is destroying. Okay,
penetrating.
That's all he cares about.
Mm-hmm.
You see that sword? It's a metaphor for his penis, Joe. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, I figured out what you're trying to say. I figured out what he was laying down.
Is it the same sword, or did they like change it
It
slightly?
looked like the same sword.
All right. I was looking
don't
at it, I was
know
like,
if it is.
it looked different, but I couldn't figure out what was different about it.
The difference is it was completely dull. It was. I'm pretty sure it was a different sword because this one was thicker and like you could see that like it had the sharpness of the side of my pencil right here. Like,
well, to be fair, they couldn't afford a prop sword, so and they needed him to start swinging it at people. So so many horses would have been extra murdered otherwise.
According to IMDb, each sword cost $10,000. So
each what sword?
All the swords. It just says the swords cost $10,000. I don't know.
Maybe the total swords they had throughout the whole movie. All right, guys. Well, I need a time machine.
So
I need a time machine, and I can make a fortune even by today's standards, and I'll make them look better than that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, you have,
and they'll all be wooden, so he can swing it around all he wants and not hurt people too bad.
Was there? Yeah, because there was one point where he like swings it behind him, and like jabs Malik in the head.
Yeah.
Like, ouch. Like,
yeah.
Did I see that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So
he swings it around like this, and Malik's standing behind him, and he's like, "Ow!" Because it clubs him like right in the side of the head. I don't think it was intentional, but they're just still like, "Bunch of guys, we're not cutting that back. That's just in."
Yeah. Let's see. What else do I got going here? Oh, so the whole point is to bring Dagos, this
dream god
looking dragon guy, around. Bring him back. And to do that, they need what's her name, Jenna, to be a virgin sacrifice for
so he can skewer her with his horn, if you know what I mean.
Bounce Hong Kong. Yeah, like I don't. When we're hearing the first inklings of this, is you got Queen Tormris talking to, or Tormia, whatever the fuck her name was, Ursa, talking to Wilt Chamberlain in her room as she's asleep. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But ultimately, we get the horn.
So I have a question. Are we inferring from this movie that Wilt Chamberlain's character is a eunuch? The princess has to stay a virgin. He's the only one that's allowed in her room. And she says, that's what a real man looks like when she's talking about Arnold. And then she says, no offense, boom, basta. Is that implying that he's a eunuch?
I'm not going to say no, but I can't disagree with that logic, in all honesty. It is fun, though. According to the trivia, Wilt Chamberlain told Olivia
Diallo
that, like, if out on the set, if she ever felt threatened, if there was ever any problem, like, let me know, I'll take care of it. And even Arnie was like, hey, I'll give you some training to defend yourself just in case. Like, I thought that was cool. I found that to be fun. But no, I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I saw the part in the movie where he gave her training.
No, like real training, actual like defend yourself from people training.
I didn't know Arnie knew how to fight.
I mean, he was a wrestler.
Did you not watch him fight the ape man?
Yeah,
I mean, that was high class.
I saw him just flung around. That was fun.
What about when he tried to murder that whatever fish? Well, that wasn't a fish monster thing. The Gorgonaut. Towards the end.
Are you talking about the thing with the horn on its head? Oh, and
yeah, I don't know what the big monster thing. The
like at the end
looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cthulhu looking whatever.
Yeah, that thing. That I couldn't actually figure out where its eyes
were.
Look,
you know how
here?
I don't know, but he did finish it off by jerking off his horn.
He did. He did.
That was like when they ripped the horn off. That was actually kind of
dude, that was some awesome effects right there when that horn came off. Like he's just sitting there jerking that horn and then it just goes off, you know?
Yeah. Ads per usual. It's usually my problem when I see Arnie. You know what I mean? My horn goes all the time. It's awful. He's a very attractive man, Joe.
I didn't say he wasn't. Also, apparently, the director was like, Conan was too clothed in the last movie. He's gonna be naked this entire time.
And nobody complained about it. All right, Joe, so shut your mouth.
I'm just saying.
Let him be naked.
I'm telling you things I saw on trivia.
I just wish he wasn't around a 14-year-old girl the whole time. That was
there.
weird.
You go. Yep.
Well, he was around Grace Jones. So,
Well, still, I don't.
But Grace Jones wasn't trying to get on his dick. Like they had the 14-year-old
True, but Malik was trying to get her on his dick.
That's true.
That was.
But I'm pretty sure that in that situation, she'd be the one with the dick.
Yeah, his because she ripped it off. Anyway. Yeah, you guys have anything else? Because I think we've somehow gone through most.
We talked about his terrible drunk acting.
Yeah.
Mentioned it anyway.
That's because he can't get drunk. I don't know if you know that.
How about the special effect? Actually, I guess we can talk about that when we talk about the
on cape.
Might as well do that right now, I guess.
I mean, we can.
The Spawn Cape Continuum.
Yeah,
correct. Yes. The dude turning into a mist dragon. I was really disappointed.
I was kind of hoping we're going to bring that up.
I think I saw a kindergarten picture I drew one time where it had the same special effects in it.
Oh, also, it definitely looked like when that dragon was carrying Jenna back. Was her back broken? Because
she definitely got Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Well, when Ernie's around, you get your back broke. You know what I mean?
They don't call him the Destroyer for nothing.
But no, like that one, that was definitely bad. When they were rowing across and rowing back from the ice cavern, that was bad.
Arnie's got that jerk motion down, though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I know there was some other.
I think it's so strong.
By pushing a grinding wheel. Yeah. We saw that in the first movie
for years.
That's true.
Around. But like then you had
sometimes he'd hold it with his feet and move with his arms, so his arms got big too.
The man ape costume was good because that was practical. The Dagoth costume looked fairly good.
At times,
yeah. That's why I said fairly. The
horn getting jerked off was pretty good.
There were moments when some of the stuff looked good. The mouth of the whatever holding the horn, the doorway, that was cool. Like that looked like pretty cool, but like
a lot of the practical effects were phenomenal. It's just very still obvious that like computer generated stuff in 1984 was not great.
Wasn't good. But again, this is also the same year that Terminator came out. Right? Was that 84?
Yeah. We just looked it up. And by we I mean YouTube.
But do you really think that there was a lot of
I didn't look it up.
Computer generated stuff in Terminator? I never.
I haven't seen Terminator in forever.
I don't think there was.
I think it's
Terminator.
almost entirely
like the glowing eye. I think was one of the things they generated with.
Well, when he was
they used like a mannequin head because it awkwardly moves his head around. So like it's definitely like a casting of a head and it's like sitting on shoulders and stuff. But like, the robot eye, I'm pretty sure was like, it's all practical effect. There's like little to no special like CGI effects. That's why the movie stands the test of time.
Okay.
Sarah Connor.
I mean, I guess technically Terminator is a comic book. We could throw it on the list and watch it.
I love Terminator. It's one of my favorite like series that I also have never watched after number 3.
That's fair.
I think. No, that's not true. I saw Salvation. I take that back.
Which one is number 3? What happened in that one?
That's Rise of the Machines. That's when
my dad was just sitting on a box and fell through it. That was fucking hilarious. She's an idiot.
Yeah, that was a different John Connor again.
It's a different John Connor every time.
Yeah, well, shouldn't be.
Well, it turns out that your
Well,
actors don't
technically
age
gets
right if
older.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Also, didn't he like Anakin himself? Didn't he like go super crazy and like couldn't handle the fame?
He did so. I think he. Yes, maybe. You're
like
talking
that was
about episode 1, Anakin, right? That,
yeah. The little
remember his
kid. Yeah.
Yeah, he. I think he went crazy and ended up in jail.
Yeah. I don't understand why George Clooney apologizes for bat nipples, but George Lucas won't apologize for ruining that kid's life.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'd argue that little kid is the bat nipples.
Would you say that Star Wars Episode 1 ruined his life,
Star
or would you
Wars
say
is
Jingle All the Way ruined his life? Because, I mean, that movie
No, Star Wars Episode 1, he regularly blames that entire movie for ruining his life.
I don't know. He was Jingle All the Way.
No, we're never gonna put blame on Jingle All the Way, all right?
I mean, Jingle All the Way killed Phil Hartman.
Barely. Phil Hartman was fine. I'll give you maybe Sinbad. I'll give you maybe he ruined Sinbad's career.
I meant like in real life. But anyway.
No,
wait.
Listen, you don't know this. Phil Hartman's still alive. Okay.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, he just goes by Chill Hartman now. A lot of people don't know that. Because he's relaxed. This is what happens when we record at 9:56. Boy.
Oh damn!
Sunday. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you just get full unhinged Charlie. Yeah, you bring me back on for more shows. I dare you. We still actually have more Batman to cover. So.
Do we?
We have all of the Christian Bale movies.
Do you want to come back on for those? Okay.
Yeah. I thought he already had established.
Do I want to come back on for more Batman movies? Yes, because I enjoy talking to you two.
Okay,
that's why.
I mean, we can have you on for any movie.
And listen, as long as I don't have to edit, I'll come on for anything, and I'll just constantly.
It's a matter of finding. It's a matter of making sure we can get the right time, though, because obviously I can't do this late every single.
Hey, no, look, Chuck already said he was cutting back on his work hours, so.
Allegedly, yeah. Listen, if I get a new job, which I'm very close to getting, we can record any night.
Pause. Are you going to take the new job?
Oh, in a heartbeat. It's more money, less hours, and I get to boss around little kids. It sounds awesome. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, that's actually like that's your top 3.
That's my 3 favorite things. Less time, more money, laughing at kids and beating them up. That's my favorite thing to do.
All right, well, by that aspect, I guess, let's go ahead and if you guys have nothing else to talk about for this movie.
I actually do real quick, because I remember when I was watching this, unlocking a memory in my brain that there was a cartoon show that I loved that was based off Conan.
Yes.
And that was
Conan the Adventurer?
It's Conan the Adventurer, but there was also the live action show Conan the Adventurer.
Okay. I
remember the cartoon. I don't remember the live action.
I remember the cartoon. I didn't remember what it was titled, but I remember the live action one.
Yeah, I remember it was Conan the Adventurer because the song was like Conan the Adventurer,
which was in 1992 was the TV series, was the cartoon show that got released, and there was one season that had 13 episodes, and the second season had 52 episodes, which means it was a weekly.
Wow!
But then the live action Conan the Adventurer was released in 97. Which is what I originally found on like Amazon randomly when we first started looking at it, and it looks not good.
And I knew about that because
that would have been like Hercules Xena type of show.
It's literally what it is. Yeah,
we talked about it last week with one of the guards guarding Arnie in Batman and Robin being Conan from
the show.
It looks like a porn knockoff.
Nice.
I mean, it might have been.
That would make it even better.
Here's the thing. Everything that I click on for it is European. Mainly Swedish. So I'm really starting to think that maybe they pulled like a Power Rangers scenario and they took like a Swedish Conan porn and then just edited out all the sex parts and then made an entire show out of it.
This seems accurate.
I would not put it past them.
That's kind of rad.
I mean, what? Sure, why not?
I didn't know that there was porn in Power Rangers, though.
You're not on the right side of TikTok.
Pretty good. Anyway, let's move on to the end of the show here. Let's go
Boob
ahead
count
and
was
do-
0. We got 0 naked boobs. We got a lot
We
of
got half a
see-through.
booby.
But see, it wasn't. You didn't get to see a naked nipple, therefore there was not a naked boob.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I figured that's how like Facebook and TikTok and all those things do it. So that's how I'm gonna have to do it too.
That's true.
our animal
TikTok rules
knockout count
apply.
was
Yes.
2.
Did you say 2?
Animal knockout count was 2, and that was just at the beginning of the movie.
But what about the kill count?
The kill count was 47.
No, the
Yeah.
animal kill count.
The animal
Zero.
kill count.
Oh, that was 47.
Jay, he murdered
that.
4 horses.
No, he didn't.
Yes, in the beginning when he was fighting,
stabbed
he
the
was
horse in the
stabbing and
chest
cutting
and it
horses' legs
flopped
off. And
over.
No, he
Yeah.
wasn't. I didn't see that. And I
In the
rewound it and
opening
watched
scene
it.
where those like elite guards show up to like capture him and stuff, he stabbed a fucking horse.
No,
Yup.
he stabbed the guy.
no, he stabbed the horse.
Joey, he
No.
stabbed the horse and the horse fell over.
No,
and the
he
horse
punched
never
the
got
horse.
back up.
And the horse fell over.
He really killed that horse in real life.
He is a murderer of all things that are adorable, like horses. You know what he said, Joey? This is what he said.
What'd
He
he say?
said, nobody's going to have a horse cock bigger than me, and murders every single horse.
I don't want to ever meet Arnold.
God. Okay.
I'm trying to make it so Joey has to actually figure out if he has to edit this show. or not.
I don't. I'll edit a little. I listen to everything, and I do edit a little, but I keep.
You gonna keep the horse jokes in?
Yeah, I'll
Joey?
keep the
Is
horse
that what
joke
we're
in.
gonna do? Yeah. Okay. Good. This is for
you
the
listen
boys.
to
You know what
find
I
out.
mean?
So yeah, kill count. Total kill count is 47. I found a kill count online. They had it at like 54, but they
That's because
counted.
they're counting all the animals he killed.
No, they counted like 10 of the guards of the horn that were already laying down on the ground. Like, I'm not counting that. Fuck that. So I got 47. What about our bingo? What you got for bingo?
So we had betrayal by a friend, obviously, because Boombastic tried to kill Arnie.
Was he a friend though?
He was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be, but at no point did I ever consider them friends.
We had hero kills, and we
Yeah.
had sexual innuendo.
That's it.
And that was really it.
We no dead parents.
Nope.
Dead spouse. No love triangle. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Thought we'd
I
have
will
bingo.
say, do you think it's worth adding animal violence? Because it seems like in the
Oh, I'm gonna.
it seems like
now.
in the 80s and like in the 80s they had absolutely zero problem beating the shit out of an animal.
Yeah, no, I'm.
That's
adding that
because
to our
PETA,
count
PETA
now.
wasn't established back then, I don't think.
True.
So
Is that
are we
wrong?
adding that then? Animal
Well,
cruelty?
was
I'm
it-
adding that
wasn't it-
animal.
Animal humane something? Like what's the thing that they always roll at the end of movies like no animals were harmed in the making of this movie? Because that definitely was not at the end of this. Because he
No.
murdered those horses.
He did.
He murdered every single one.
All right, so we're gonna add animal cruelty to it.
animal horse
we
like
do that
horse
to
meat
bingo, or
is
we're gonna add that?
ridiculously
Okay,
lean.
one.
Okay.
But we still don't get a bingo for it, even adding that in
Okay.
there.
Oh, that's a shame. You just see it, Chuck.
All right, so that leaves us with our scores. Chuck, what you got for your score on this one?
So I actually did like this more than I liked the first one,
you?
despite. But I don't. What did I give Barbarian?
You gave
I'm
Barbarian
looking it up.
6.27.
A 6.27.
What you gave it?
Holy shit! I'm gonna give this a 6.28.
Okay.
I didn't think I gave it that high. Okay.
So-
apparently didn't like. I liked it a little bit better, but not that much.
So
Round, what do you got?
originally, this probably would have gotten a higher score than the 5 that I gave the last one.
Okay.
But because they are so heavily reliant on a child for all their like sexual innuendo, creepy shit, it's actually going to get a 4.9 from me.
All right.
I like the story better, but that just creeps me out.
And allegedly, she got a Razzie for this movie because it was like terrible acting. But,
Yeah, she wanted to do porn after this.
So you say that, and the movie that came out with her in it, which is technically her first movie, this is technically her second. Bolardo, I whatever it is, she does a full-on nude scene in that, and she's 14 years old.
Ew.
So
That's uncomfortable.
No. Funny enough, I
So
remember
it's
her
like
from-
a Blue Lagoon
Listen, it was
thing.
a different time, okay? It was 1200 BC. All right, you can get away with stuff like that, or the
I
80s. apparently.
remember her mainly from The Big Green. You remember The Big Green movie?
I do.
That's what I remember her from.
Yeah.
Not ironically, I remember her from that and not the Wonder Years. But you know,
I didn't really watch Wonder Years, so I
I
mean,
did, but I just don't remember the Wonder Years.
I was weirdly obsessed with the Wonder Years, but I really just wanted to bang Danica Patrick. So
Which is
that's
fair.
fair.
Yeah, totally fair. I gave this a 5. It's lower than what I gave it last time. I gave it 5.2 last time. I enjoyed it, but not enough to be like, all right, this was the best movie ever. There were some better scenes, sure, but we didn't have Arnie punching out a dragon like we had in the first one, or whatever the fuck he punched out that snake. He punched out that snake.
yeah, did you feel like this was a better representation of the IP?
I don't know because I've never read the comic, so I mean
I just in general, between this and like Masters of the Universe.
Oh, this is way better than Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, I agree. Like if I had to rewatch like this or Masters of the Universe, I'm rewatching this.
100%.
And I know Joey said that he would put on Masters of the Universe in the background.
I would. I'd put this on the background too. And what did I give Masters? I feel like I gave that a lower score. Yeah, I gave Masters of the Universe a 4.8. So I like this better than Masters of the Universe. So I don't know. We still technically have Red Sonja, which is connected to this universe loosely, because Arnold's in Red Sonja, but not as Conan. He's a completely new character.
Red Sonja is played by the person who plays Midge on that 70s show. Am I right about that? Am I thinking the right show?
I don't think
Or the right movie?
Hold on, I'm looking up right now. If it is, that'd be interesting.
She also, I believe, gets naked at least
Bridget Nielsen.
Bit. Okay. No? I don't think that's her name.
Let's see here. She's in Creed 2. That's coming out. Or that's out.
You mean Creed 3?
No, Creed 2. She was in Creed 2.
Oh, Bridget Nielsen. Yeah, this is Bridget Nielsen.
Oh, you're
Bridget
thinking
Nielsen
of...
famously was in love with Flavor Flav.
Is that who?
Yep.
Okay.
That's like her other claim to fame was that she was like dating Flavor Flav for like a hot minute.
She was in Rocky.
Chuck is thinking of Sheena.
I am thinking Sheena. You're right.
Oh, that makes yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But yeah, that is the woman from that 70s show.
Okay.
Yeah. Believe she does get naked in Sheena.
She does. Yeah.
It's either Sheena or Clash of the Titans.
Well, she's also in Beastmaster, and she gets at least topless in that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we see her naked in Sheena, which we've
multiple times. Yeah.
Shout out to Midge.
So this our combined score is a 5.39.
Well deserved, in my opinion.
It's actually that's not bad. It's over halfway, which I've always said anything over halfway, I will definitely watch again at some point.
How the fuck did this end up behind the other Conan?
Directly behind the other Conan at that. Because you went up and I went down. No, you went
the
down.
Old high-low.
We both went down.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I was going to give it a better score, but then they had child almost like porn in it.
Shout out to your exes.
So, yeah, it is number 28 on our list overall currently. Just behind Conan the Barbarian at 5.49 and just above The Amazing Spider-Man from 77 at a 5. So, not a bad spot in all honesty. Oh, and Death of the Incredible Hulk at 5. So, not a terrible spot. Okay. We did it, guys.
So what's our next movie there, Mr. List Keeper?
Movie here in a second. Well, let's go ahead and give our outros. So
don't we normally do the next movie before we do our outros?
No, because I always do the outros and then I say the next movie. And then we banter for like 5 seconds and then I say, okay, bye. So, Chuck, where can they find you on the internet?
Listen, I'm really popular on TikTok. You should go follow me over there at Kicked Out of the Hood, no E and Kicked, or go follow my new hobby, where I talk about Magic the Gathering that I'm gotten back into, and some miniature wargaming stuff. You can go follow that at Kicked Out of the Hobby. Kicked Out of the Hobby, no E.
Still no E.
Yeah, no E and Kicked. Go follow me over there. I am I've made my resurgence after many years. I think Ravnica was like the last set I ever played. But I've made a comeback because I don't have time for miniature wargaming anymore. I still do it. I still love it. I want listen, people make fun of me that I don't have any friends. So I'm trying to make friends, and Magic is an easy way to make friends. So I'm playing Magic. So I'm gonna talk about Magic stuff over there. Mainly just how much I actually really like card art. That's about all
That's fair.
Art
that was my favorite part about Magic cards.
I will say this: Magic is still one of the best companies when it comes to actually paying artists. From my understanding, they constantly are supporting independent artists and contracting them to do art for their cards. So
good,
nice.
Yeah, it's one of the only few that still do, I guess. But apparently, also fuck Hasbro. I don't know what's happening anymore. So the old OGL problems.
Okay.
So
the open game license.
Yeah, the open game license.
Good at this game. TikTok, Instagram, probably other places. The Twitter. Find me there.
All right. You guys can find me on Twitter at _actually_. You can find the show Comic Book Rundown on Twitter at Comic Rundown, on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown. You can email us comicbookrundown@gmail.com. You can also find me on my other show, A Walk to the Multiverse, at Walk the Verse on Twitter. I'm also part of the DC Alliance podcast and Ranger Alliance podcast. We are collectively, this show, part of the Professional Casual Network. We have a Patreon for $3.
Head over to patreon.com/professionalcasual.
There
As
you
low as
go.
$1. Get access to the hot Discord. Let me tell you.
And for
if
$3.01, you could be a booker.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. I don't know if you know this. The slowly but surely, the Snake Federation is going to take over the Comic Book Rundown.
They tried to do a riot, and then it stopped after like 2 people.
We tried to do a riot, and then Tim showed up. and everybody
I'm
stopped.
talking about in the Comic Book Rundown chat.
Yeah, no. If Tim shows up, we have to stop rioting because then we will get a 24-hour ban. So
okay, no. Here's the thing. Tim told me as long as I'm okay with anything in my chat, it's fine.
We were literally talking about telekinesis today, so
yeah.
Let me tell you,
that was good.
Tim very, very has to be careful about riots and what he lets, because if he lets it happen in one that isn't Elite 8 Showdown, because that chat still exists, the Elite 8 Showdown will be canceled. Which you guys have to be careful. Dan may cancel you guys too. That's how it happens. Dan just decides, hey, I have to cancel Comic Book Rundown because they didn't do enough Iceman comics. He'll do it. He'll shoot you guys right down. So just keep that in mind.
We're nowhere near Iceman in the comics. He's disappeared at this point in time for our X-Men talk. So,
well, I'm just letting you know if you don't start talking about it.
Well, don't worry. Hey, I talked about Iceman when we were talking about Pyro because they definitely got it on. So I did cover it there, so we should be okay.
No fire and ice.
And we figured out that Iceman was even the top because
that's true.
Pyro's from Australia, so he's from down under, so obviously he's a bottom.
That's true.
That's accurate. Yeah. Shout out to Quinn.
So for our next movie, we're going to be covering The Incredibles from 2004.
Oh, thick mama. We're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, all right. So, on subject, there was a chick at the Indiana Comic-Con that was dressed up as Elastigirl. And holy shit, she was actually flexible. It was so hot. And I'm just like, can I get your picture real quick? Just
Have you been on Incredibles TikTok side yet?
Oh, you know what I forgot to talk about?
Oh, I highly recommend going and checking that out.
All right.
Yeah, it's just cosplayers. That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic cosplayers.
Oh
I guess
yeah.
before we get out of here, I should probably go over to the Discord and talk about because I did put it out there, people to give their thoughts.
Did anybody actually write anything, or did we definitely get distracted right after that?
You guys got distracted pretty quick, but
Okay.
we got Pony Danza saying, "Man, I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid and remember nothing about it." Okay. Cider _ drinker. Great adventure movie, outstanding soundtrack. Someone did a version of it on church organ. It sounds random, but suits it.
Sorry, no, I just read about Chuck.
Oh no, I read that too. Which made me figure the Discord.
All right, listen, guys, pause real quick. Join patreon.com for Professional Casual Network because you get access to the Discord, and it is well worth it just for the fucking humor. These guys are fucking brilliant.
Amazing. Yes.
They're some of like I don't. It's all because of Lady Showdown that brought these three together. But Will, Pony Danza, Quinn, and then when you get like Tim and like Cider Drinker in there, like that shit. Oh God, Leroy is hilarious.
Speaking of him, he says Bruce Leroy, what a crazy cast. Arnie and Mako are the only ones from the first movie and they added Wilt the Stilt, Grace Jones, a pre-Wonder Years Olivia Diarbo, and Andre the fucking Giant. Oh, and then he has a picture of them. Oh, and who can forget Sarah Douglas for Superman 2? This was more family-friendly, no boobs, less violent, PG rating. All in all, a fun movie, but not a great movie. Madyer says, I got to rewatch The Destroyer. The first one has gotten its fair share of reruns, which I'm pretty sure he's right. Then we get into Kit smashing, yelling at Ron for stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Every once in a while, Will just like goes off on stuff, and you just have to accept that it's
great. I love it.
Yeah.
It fucking dude, it makes me chuckle hard.
Dead. Let's see here. Yeah, then here we go. A lot more horsecock talk than you would have expected in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I forget.
You'll also notice that today there was a big, huge thing about superpowers.
You know, I'm glad you brought it up because I keep forgetting to bring it up.
Yeah, there's more than just like talking about the episodes. There's like just general conversation of good fellowship in there.
Yeah. But I'd like to let people know, and I want to get their thoughts on the stuff that we talk about and what they remember from it. And I know we're gonna get into movies
dangerous game we're playing, but sure.
But I want the interaction. I want people to write in so we can talk about them on the show and they can hear their thoughts.
One more thing, because I'm trying to see the picture in the background that you've got up here for us. And am I wrong in saying that this reminds you of the Titanic when they're up on the bow of the ship?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I see
that. I on Instagram, I'm pretty sure it was on TikTok, somebody took their cat and replaced Kate Winslet with a cat, and so
knocked him off.
there's that, but the scene where he's at the bow and doing the pose with her, where he's holding a cat doing it, it's just kind of fun. Then he's drawing the cat like one of his French girls. It's So
you're on a weird side of TikTok, Joey.
No, it's on Instagram, not TikTok.
I said
you're on a weird side of Instagram too, Bob.
No, that's just the Wild West of Instagram. No, that made sense. No, that was fine.
It's cat stuff. I got onto like a animal fun.
He typed in pussy, but he wasn't expecting to get what he got.
That's true. You got to be careful on Instagram, Joey. I tell you.
I guess.
Listen, I repeatedly am just constantly learning about algorithm because I'm in the process of trying to write a course for the college that I work for, and we're essentially going to be doing a digital content for food production. So like learning how to do YouTube and Instagram and how to shoot a food show. You know what I mean? Like essentially is the idea. And so
Did you get into like the ass smashing cake thing?
Listen,
you're already on it. Yeah,
they're like 19. I have to be very careful. Okay,
I gotta change my
Hey, you
TikTok
can teach him how to
algorithm.
bake the cake first.
Wow.
I don't disagree with that. However, I have to be very careful of what happens with that cake during filming. I have learned they've already been talked. I've been talked about.
No.
I've been told,
Oh God.
yeah, I have been told I have to listen. I swear a lot in front of them, and I found out I'm not really supposed to do that. But
They're
apparently, I
all
can't
adults, right?
listen, I said the same thing, but apparently, I can't say motherfucker 7 times in a row. I found out the hard way. Okay, I got called into human resources. It was like a whole
Dude,
thing.
next time just like, I don't mean your mother's. Maybe that's what they were upset about.
Listen, yeah, I agree. They also wrote a review that said that some of them think that I think they're dumb and don't have any respect for them. And to those two that left those reviews, I will say you are correct because I know which two you were, and you were both pains in my asses. So
Hey,
you
look.
are correct. I have no respect for you, and I think you were dumb.
But you know what? They're at least
Allegedly. See, if I say allegedly, it doesnn't count.
They at least figured it out themselves, so you didn't have to tell them.
Might edit that part out.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
What are they actually? Yeah, no, edit it out because I'm trying to get a bigger job.
Yeah,
at the college,
exactly.
So you might want to edit
fuck,
that
man.
part. Just put it in the B-roll. Just make it on the Patreon episode. Put it behind a paywall.
I don't do enough Patreon. We need to do more Patreon.
Hey, I put up my option.
Oh, I'm surprised he isn't making you guys do a once a month Patreon episode too.
Well, we've got the option. You know what? Hold on. Let's end this episode and we'll talk off that because I need to go to bed. So,
all right, goodbye, everybody.
We'll see you later.
We have to have shirts on TeePublic and Redbubble.
Yep. Music was done by Cam from Wreck My Podcast, not Wreck My Podcast,
and not one half the Seth
Turtles.
And not a doctor yet, apparently.
Not a doctor yet.
Dude? We have faith in you. You can do it.
Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, TikTok, whatever. Wherever you find us, rate us and review us. All right, we're out here. Bye.
All right, bye.